What's up, everyone? On today's episode, we have introductions, how Jurassic Park ruined horror movies, and what in the hell is Nintendo doing? Stay tuned to find out. One. Welcome. This is the Gort and Lizzy show. We got me, Gort, a little bit goofy, a little bit out of pocket at times. Then we got Lizzy over there.
Hello.
So, this is the first ever episode of this show. It took a while to get the ball rolling, I'm not gonna lie. A bit of preparation. Honestly, we're still not, we still have a little bit to do.
It's still a mess. What are you talking about?
We're getting it done. We still need to fucking edit this episode, so we still have some time. A bit of time before the episode goes up. We're all good.
Yeah.
So, obviously this is the first episode, so I feel like a little bit of introductions are in order. I'm Gort or Garrett. My main things are like playing Xbox and doing karate and shit. I'm not the best gamer in the world. I'd say I'm painfully average.
Painfully average.
Yes.
Me too. Don't worry.
But we play very different games.
That's very true.
Like,
that is also extremely true.
you mainly play single player games. I am painfully average in like multiplayer semi-competitive games. Like there's no comparing them.
Okay, yeah. So like those type of games, I am very bad. Like,
Now, is that why you don't play them, or like is it just
yeah, it's
something
part
you
of the
don't
why
enjoy it?
I don't. If I'm going to play multiplayer games, I want people to play with.
Yeah.
I don't like playing by myself with multiplayer games.
That's fair.
Single player games, whole different story. I can spend hours upon hours on playing like Minecraft or Skyrim or Stardew Valley.
Well, Minecraft is a multiplayer game, and I think Stardew can be, can't it?
It can, but those are also easy enough games to play by yourself.
Fair
You
enough.
don't have the lobbies or all the other jazz.
Yeah. See, me and my friends, every once like I can tell you so many people can relate to this. We have these Minecraft phases where we get into it for a solid like 2 weeks. Like we create a server, fucking factions get built up. Like we start getting to the point where like we're at each other's throats, ready for war, and then we just get bored of fucking Minecraft and like do something else.
Oh, the amount of worlds I have on my Xbox of just, oh, got my house built. I'm done. That's it.
That is your
That's
entire.
as far as it goes.
That is your entire goal. Just build a
It is.
house.
It's not even getting to the end. We're going to the nether. I'm gonna build this house.
House building speed run. See how fast we can do it at what difficulty. Fuck yeah.
I mean, I'll go to the nether though to like get certain materials, but other than that, I won't fucking go at all. Nope.
Certain materials to build your house with.
Yeah. The only place I don't go to like to get certain materials is the goddamn end, and that's because it takes me forever to find a stronghold. The only reason.
Well, do you know how to beat the game?
Kinda not really.
Well,
Like I've got a decently good idea, but like
do you know how to create fucking Eyes of Ender and shit?
yeah.
Okay.
Then
Honestly,
you go in and kill the dragon, and you can go get the dragon's head and visit the cities and all that.
yeah. It's just like there's so much now that like even past beating the like getting through the end and killing the Ender Dragon, it there's just so much now that you can continue playing for a long time.
Yeah.
And like in creative and stuff, you've seen my fucking creative world.
Oh yeah.
That shit's been going on for
So
years.
many builds. Yeah, I thought about starting up like a big server, but I would want people to actually do it
Yeah.
and be on it.
I've been contemplating starting like a big server with like no restriction for friend group. Like anyone who wants to join can join. But like
Chaos.
my thing is like I am very faction based. So like I'll try to gather people under one flag and then like start causing chaos between the other factions. Like there was one time me and my friends started a Minecraft realm. No, it was a straight up server. And fucking like we were doing my faction had the most people. But other factions were growing at a rate faster than us, like getting netherite just because they had more time.
Hmm.
And so I went around and like did small little griefs to fucking like different builds people had. And I made it anonymous. I just left a message just like I what I did was I destroyed all the torches. Me and Jabuis destroyed all the torches inside everyone's home. So then like monsters started spawning in people's homes and like villager farms were getting wiped out and stuff. And I just put a sign there that said lights out. And so what that I had a good alibi because I hadn't been on like the few days before that. And that night I got on at like fucking 2 a.m. and did all this shit. So no one suspected me, but they were all at each other's throats. And so what I managed to do was I managed to convince another faction leader that it was another person that did all of it. Because they were semi belligerent, like fucking challenging people because he was the farthest in the game. He had like full netherite armor, fully enchanted and shit. And I convinced the one faction leader that it was him, and I also convinced him to like make so we were all trading amongst each other. I convinced him to make an exclusive trade deal with like between us two only. And keep in mind, I had 4 or 5 people at the time. He had two or maybe three. I didn't really need any trades. All that was doing was really weakening the other two factions. I like it got to the point where Jabuis was like, you are scary. Like you disappear for a few days and come back with some like master plan." And
Let me
it just
just mildly inconvenience everybody else.
well, what I was doing was I was trying to consolidate as much power for my faction as I could, and reduce everyone else's speed as much as I could. Weaken everyone else as much as I could, and also make them start pointing knives at each other while I was just walking through there without a care in the world.
That's great.
I consistently think of shit like this. Like I don't like politicians, but Jabuis was like,
You're playing the game.
you would be a great politician. All right, so now that my introduction is over, Lizzie, it's your turn to
Oh.
introduce yourself.
We got so sidetracked. All right. I am Lizzy. I don't like introductions.
Interesting.
I stream. I on Twitch. I do some drawing on the side. I'm a full-time mother. I don't know really what else to say, to be honest with you.
Combat lady. You're an axe thrower.
Oh, that's more of like an inside joke, though. About the whole axes.
You love your axes, though.
Just play that game again. Yeah, that's really all I got for introduction wise.
Okay.
I'm really bad at introductions.
Yeah. With the axe thing, we play the game for honor, which is basically like samurai, Vikings, knights fighting against each other. There's another faction called the Wu Lin, which is Chinese. And like you can pick any character from any faction. I believe there's like a good like 30 characters in the game now or something. And she plays a Viking called Berserker, which has 2 fucking axes. It's super fast and everything. and there's something called feats in the game, which are basically they're either passives or things that you can activate throughout the game as you like get stronger within the game. And so one of the feats is a throwing axe. And of course it's not like a one and done thing. It recharges over time, but Lizzie just fucking launches throwing axes anywhere she goes. like
I'm that annoying player who will steal your kill just because I can throw an axe.
fucking
Because
projectile
I've done
feats.
it a number of times.
Yeah, she has. She has stolen my kill on numerous occasions. I hate projectile feats with a burning passion because it just feels
I
so
fucking
fucking
love them.
cheap. Like you'll be 1v1ing
Fucking
person
love them.
and they'll just like you'll be 2 feet from them and they'll just pull out a fucking longbow and snipe you in the neck from fucking 2 feet out.
Yeah.
Like take out a fucking third of your health bar. Or like the worst thing is when you're 1v1ing someone and then someone else shows up with a projectile feat and shoots you. Like if you're gonna fight,
I've
just
done
fight
that to
me.
people. I've done that though, like when you're doing a 1v1 and they're actually kicking your ass for a moment. You don't have time to get any fucking hits in. So like I can stun that other player and then you're good. Like I'll do it that way too. Like I can be helpful with it.
I
As
don't
long as they're not low enough to die.
I don't care as long as it's not against me. Or as long as you don't steal my kill.
Yeah, I do that. So you can explain games pretty well, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I just kind of play games. I just play them because I like them.
You experience them.
I do. I go in blind as a bat.
Oh.
I don't research games. I don't do any of that. The most for researching is like, is this one free to play? Because I'm broke.
Yeah, that's fair. Me
Like that is
sorry.
the most for researching for games I do. Like even like when we were playing For Honor, I really didn't research worth the damn. I didn't look anything up. Any like tips I got was like from you or from other people. It's like that was it.
Which if the people are better than you, but sometimes they're not giving good tips, but like you had some pretty good
You were terrible at explaining.
you had some pretty experienced players helping you out.
I got a lot better in a short amount of time, and now I haven't like touched it in like weeks.
Yeah, you got to the point where you were like light parrying me on reaction some fucking how, and it scared the shit out of me because I still can't do that. I've been playing since the beta. That's what I think like 5 or 6 years, and I still cannot do that. I just don't have the reaction speed. Speaking
I
of
don't know how. I can't even tell you. I just autopilot.
speaking of you not researching games, what did you think of Outlast?
I fucking hate that shit. Fuck horror games. 100%. I hate it all. I don't know why I did it to myself.
Why would you do like? You don't seem like a skittish person.
Oh, I'm so skittish. Oh my god, it's so bad.
So, like, tell us a little bit about what happened there.
So, I had ran a stream on a different app that we use occasionally called Reality, and I had asked them about Halloween time. If I was to stream a horror game on Twitch, what would you like me to play? Okay. They wanted me with that stream, I ended up playing Dead Space. Okay. That was the first horror game I ever played, Dead Space.
Okay. First ever?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
So first ever horror game I literally played like during Halloween this year.
Damn.
I don't play horror games. I don't watch horror movies. I don't do any of it. Horror, no.
I used to really not like horror movies, but like I'm able like nowadays like even a lot of jump scares don't really get me. Like
I am jumpy as shit.
there was one time I was chilling with my ex and we were just like laying on the couch watching, I think it was The Nun. And The Nun has a few jump scares. Um and like every jump scare like she would jump and I wouldn't. And she turned to me like confused and I feel like a little bit scared. Just like why aren't you like getting got by this? I'll go into that after. Continue your story about horror game.
Okay. So during when it was decided that I was going to play Dead Space, it was people really wanted me to play Outlast. Outlast costed money. I said I would not play Outlast until I got my paycheck and see and like got all my stuff paid and see what I had after.
All right.
Unfortunately, I should have just lied and said I couldn't do it. I couldn't afford it, but I could afford it, so I bought it. And I played it. And I died. Like, I played it when I was sick. So I was already wasn't feeling good. I didn't have much of a voice. And I screamed multiple times playing Outlast. So I've had even less of a voice by the time I was done.
Yeah, that was right before we were supposed to like. So keep in mind,
That's when we were supposed to start doing all this like podcast streaming.
we were supposed to
Podcast recording.
record a week ago, and so Lizzie was getting sick, and she was like, "My voice is getting kind of fucked up. We may not be able to record on Sunday." And then she decides to go and play a horror game where she knows she's gonna be streaming. And just
So
completely
I made it
screws
even
her
worse.
voice even more.
Gord the next morning got like this lovely voice note from in Discord, and I sounded so bad.
He sounded like my Aunt Cinnamon. I'm 89 years old. Been smoking for 90.
It was bad.
My lungs look like large raisins.
That was my most popular stream on Twitch.
Was it really?
It was most popular stream I've ever had on Twitch.
Maybe you should torture yourself more.
Like, hold on, let me do a couple buttons real quick. What night was that?
Probably last
Here.
Saturday.
It was it was an over 3-hour stream, and I had up to 39 views.
39.
Which, I mean, isn't a lot.
That's nice. I mean,
it's not a lot, but like that's a lot for me.
yeah, it's relative. Relatively, it's a lot. I'm pretty sure it's
When
more
I
than I've
average-
ever gotten.
When I usually get like 2, that's a lot.
I think I've been netting like 6 or 7 average lately. So like most of them like are just friends that show up for a few minutes and dip out, but you know.
Yeah. I do that with yours, I'm not gonna lie.
Damn. You show up, send a few dinosaurs, and then fucking dip.
I love that little dancing dinosaur emote on Twitch. It's like my go-to emote.
Damn. She not even a real. I stay around for your streams, you fucking asshole.
I stay for like it's not that like I like okay, so I will keep it running like on my phone. That way like it's still counting towards all your stuff, but like I have kids. I can't just sit down and I can't just watch it.
Fuck them kids.
So like as long as I can keep it running in the back on my phone, like it still counts towards all your demographics.
The grind never stops, Lizzie.
Like I try, but like as soon as like I start watching something on my phone, my children are like, in my face. What you watching? I want to watch. Ooh, Junior, my lovely oldest little demon, goes swipe all the way across my screen. I lose fucking everything. Or the little shit will like slap my phone out of my hand. So it's like I give up.
Fucking windmill slam it out of your hands.
We got majorly just sidetracked. My bad.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. The conversation is running smoothly. So what I was saying before about like the horror movies, so like things like The Nun, where it falls in, was it the Conjuring universe? You know what the Conjuring is like? I'm sure you've
Yeah.
heard of it.
I know what it is. I've heard of it. Never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Have you heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren?
No.
So they are famous demonologists. They have a museum of a bunch of haunted stuff. One of those being the Annabelle doll.
Okay, I've heard of those. Yes. Okay.
And so the Ed was like the knowledgeable one. From what I understand, Ed was the knowledgeable one. Lorraine was a medium, which is someone that is like a bit psychic and can sense and connect with spirits.
Okay.
And so the belief is that like their stories are rooted in truth, but largely like I was gonna say embezzled, but that's not the right word. Embellished.
No, that's not the right word at
Embellished.
I was thinking more like exaggerated, but yeah, that one works too.
Well, yeah, embellished is basically exaggerated. But it's believed that they're largely embellished, and so the movies. There's a series of movies that were made about their various adventures.
Okay.
So I believe it's the Conjuring movies, Annabelle, of course, and The Nun are all set in the same universe. And so the problem with those movies is they're very Hollywoodized. And so they're not entirely well written. A lot of the jump scares are easy to see, and they kind of rely on the jump scares.
Okay.
And so, like, when you rely on jump scares and the jump scares are easy to see coming, then it's just not that bad.
I don't know. I'm trying to Google the one horror movie I've actually watched. Like, I don't know the name of it. I just know it has something to do with whack.
Whack. I don't know.
I know it's really not descriptive, but like, that's all I know.
So, as for like horror movies, slashers are, I believe, considered a genre of horror movie. Alexa, shut up. Fucking
Okay,
1050. 1050 every night. I don't care if I'm listening to fucking like there was a night where I was listening to Sempra, which that goes pretty hard. And then Alexa just 1050 every night says, good night, here is your sleep music routine. And starts playing real calm music. Like, I'm playing For Honor. I'm listening to Sempra for a reason. Keep Sempra on, you dumb bitch.
Okay, I found the horror movie. It was called The House of Wax. I watched the 05 one. It's a slasher film.
Oh, yeah. I was talking. Sorry. Go.
When did I watch this? About senior year of high school. So
that was like 30 years ago.
20s. I'm gonna. You're so mean to me. Not even 30. So I haven't seen a horror movie since about 2016.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Your
it
senior
would have been
year was
2016.
20. If
2016, 2017, yeah.
that's my freshman year.
Oh,
Yeah, now you feel old. Look.
nah.
Oh, okay. I was
I'll
gonna
feel
say.
old once like my kids graduate high school.
Fair enough.
Actually, you know what? It might be 2015, 2016 when I watched it. Because I'm trying to think of when I was with my ex. I think it would have been 2016. Because it was either like end of junior year or like beginning of senior. Somewhere in
Um.
that vicinity. I don't know.
So what I was.
It's been too long.
Fair enough. See, it's been too many years. You're getting old. You need to take your
Not
medication.
old. I'm not old. Just because I don't know how to work my computer half the time doesn't make me old.
But as I was saying before, like so slashers, I just never really enjoyed slashers. Like I find them kind of boring, and like they're not scary. The one day we were watching Chucky, like this is back when I was like, really didn't like horror movies, and we
Okay.
decided to watch Chucky, and like I was kind of like, at first, and then I decided to sit down and watch it, and like I found it more funny than anything, and I feel like Chucky is definitely like the outlier. Uh, Chucky is supposed to be a bit funny, I'm pretty sure, but like I've watched Michael Myers or like Halloween, I should say. I've watched Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and I just kind of find them boring.
That's fair.
Funny enough, like the one type of horror, like the one horror thing that I've found really interesting and actually genuinely scary, a lot of other people find boring. And that's so it's an analog horror, probably the most famous one, Mandela Catalog. Have you heard of
Okay.
that, Lizzie?
Not really. Not gonna lie.
So it's like it takes place back when analog TVs were widely used. And so
Okay.
like there's a lot of static, there's a lot of distorted like music and speech and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Mandela catalog takes advantage of existential dread. Like involves it involves religious themes, whereas like you don't know like it twists popular biblical stories, and you don't know if it's like demons or aliens. And so one of the scariest things about it is a concept of something called alternates, which are basically regular people but just off. Like there are some alternates that basically look completely like regular people. There's some that are like regular people but a bit weird, like taller head or like weird proportions and stuff like that. And then another one is like I think it's called impossible. And the diagram that's showing the different types of alternates. For that one, it's just the regular person but upside down.
Hmm.
And so like what I found so scary about it, like it it doesn't work off of jump scares. Like is it I've watched the first season. I want to watch the second season, but I don't want to watch it alone. Um so it it doesn't work off of jump scares. The entire first season doesn't have any jump scares. It's the entire thing just I was anxious watching all the way through it. Like
Hmm.
it
Okay.
So I was watching someone named Pirate Software, and he was talking about like so he's a game developer, and he was making a horror game, and what he was doing was talking about was like slowly rising the music to a crescendo, um,
Mm-hmm.
like slowly rising and rising, and it's supposed to like raise your blood pressure, raise your heartbeat, and
Yes.
then it just cuts off. No jump scare, no nothing. You don't. You get the wind up of the punch, but the punch never comes, and so
I I'd hate that.
it keeps your heart rate up and keeps you anxious all the way through. And I
Yeah.
think the Mandela catalog does a great job of that.
Okay. Okay. So, would you like me to tell you why I do not why I like refuse to watch horror movies and everything?
I'd love to hear that.
Okay, it's not even because of a horror movie. That's the most bullshit part.
Okay.
Okay. When I was younger, I'm I'm still very skittish, but it was worse when I was younger. Okay.
Okay.
Jurassic Park. I heard you laugh at me. Like it's not even a horror movie. But yeah, Jurassic Park is the whole reason I don't even do horror movies. I
Doesn't
can't even watch Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Like
Park
I
has
can't
some
get
jump
through the
scares, doesn't
first
it?
one. I think it has a couple. But like I can't do it.
Fair enough. One thing I refuse to do is like haunted houses and haunted hayrides and stuff.
The one and only haunted house I went to, I accidentally punched an actor. So I don't go back. I just don't go. Plus, I also almost fainted that day
Because of the
because
haunted
that's
house?
um because of some strobe lights I had going on.
Okay.
Um, so I found out I have a slight issue with strobe lights.
Okay.
It's not super bad to the point where I can be medically diagnosed, but it's still pretty bad.
Okay. It's there.
It's there. It's just it's not bad enough to be diagnosed with it. I
have
can't think of the word for it.
have you ever legitimately passed out?
Uh no, I've gotten very close. I've fallen on the ground. I get so dizzy to the point where I have to sit down on the ground and close my eyes and like dig my head into my knees.
Fair enough. I've passed out once in my life. We were at the county fair, and
Oh, you mean just like passed out in general?
like yeah.
Yes, I have fainted. I
Okay.
fainted on stage.
Oh no. Just face
But please
plant out of
continue with your
nowhere.
story.
So we were at the county fair, and it was started raining really hard. And so a lot of us were like grouped up under a bunch, like there were a bunch of different pavilions. A lot, there were some of us grouped up under this one. Keep in mind, like there are paved paths, and under each pavilion it's paved. Um, but it hasn't been repaved in years. So there are like a bunch of potholes and stuff. Water collects in different places. It's easy to trip, stuff like that. And so I'm there with. I'm a bit younger, probably like 13, I want to say. And it's
Okay.
me, my brother, and my parents. And I'm standing next to my mom, and I say like I'm feeling a bit dizzy, and all of a sudden my hearing, everything becomes muffled, and like my vision, it doesn't become blurry. All the colors start blending together, like it starts swirling
Okay, so you
almost.
had color blending. Okay.
And I everything comes back too, and I see that I am face down on the ground, and my knee is bleeding a bit. Apparently, like I was low on sugar or something. I've never had that problem. I guess I just hadn't had sugar in a while. Um, but after that, I was feeling pretty much fine.
Damn. Okay. That's not too bad though.
Now tell me about your story.
Okay, so I used to be in choir. Um, so rule is do not lock your fucking knees when you're singing. Okay?
I have heard that, yes.
Don't do not do it. Okay, so we were doing our little rehearsals on stage and
At least it was at a
we were
rehearsal.
it was at least a rehearsal. So we were just kind of going through and doing our little singing. And then all of a sudden, like you said, like the sound hearing just kind of got a little funky.
Okay.
And then got like black spots in like the corner of my eyes and they'd start going like inwards. And then next thing I know, I'm on the ground and I have one of the teachers forcing my head in between my knees and somebody else is trying to keep them up. That way I can have my heart above everything else.
Okay.
And like I don't remember hitting the ground. I don't remember anything. I just know like we were singing. I was fine. Had a couple black spots. I'm on the floor. What the fuck happened? And like everybody that was up on stage was all in the fucking like sitting down by the time I came to.
So how long were you on the
Like there was
ground?
I don't know. I don't know how long I was out. I just remember coming to and I'm on the ground.
I just imagine like you hit the ground and it's just like, all right, we got one more song. Let's just wrap this up.
I just I came to some sitting up with one of my choir teachers just shoving my head in between my knees trying to keep me up.
All right.
And then I went to the nurse's office and yeah. On the
So
plus side it was like at the end of the day.
fair enough. So it was because you locked your knees for so long?
Um it was also cuz I I was not very good at eating. So
Okay.
I was a little too hungry and my body wasn't telling me, so it said, "Fuck you."
We need to
And as
conserve
soon as I
energy now.
yeah, pretty much. So it basically, as soon as my legs were locked for longer than like 3 seconds, it was like night night time. So yeah,
All
I've
right.
also fainted one other time, but like I didn't faint then. Actually, I've almost fainted two other times. I lied.
All right. So you've only fainted the one time?
Yes. Oh, I've almost fainted quite a few times actually. Now that I go through it in my head. Oh dear. So then the time after that, I got my belly pierced. My body said "fuck you" and didn't like it, so I about passed out then.
What was the reasoning
The
for
time
that
after,
time?
it literally just said "fuck you." My body quite literally said "fuck you." We're done. I don't know what the fuck you just did to your stomach, but you're done.
Obviously, you can't be left in control of this.
Pretty much. And then getting my blood drawn. I was at MEPS, joining the military, and they had to draw blood. I about fainted with the first person, so they they pulled me out of the line and made me go somewhere else. Then I had to get my blood drawn as I was laying down. That way, in case I did pass out, they didn't have to haul me up off the floor.
Okay.
So I somehow survived that. Then the next time after that, I, I used to do some roofing, and when I was on top of a courthouse, courthouses are very tall.
That
Okay,
makes sense.
I accidentally nicked myself in the arm with a hook blade,
Okay.
and I don't have an issue with blood. I really don't. My body, on the other hand, said, panic, fuck you. And it was a good thing I was standing where I was and there was scaffolding. Otherwise, I would have fallen at least 4 stories.
All right.
So I was able to sit down.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
You've worked on construction sites, right?
Yes.
How often do you see people wearing tethers? How often would you see people wearing tethers when they were like on the roof or something?
Okay. So most of the construction site I have worked on, there's nothing. I did concrete. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
For the little bit I roughed for like a week. Okay. It wasn't very long. And it was purely because my ex at the time was out of commission. So, and it was a family business. So like I just went to go help.
Okay.
I did nothing but shuttle tiles around the fucking roof. That was like all I did. Because we were working on a courthouse in the middle of a big town, we were tethered all the time.
Oh yeah, of course.
If we were on that roof, we were tethered. Also, I almost fell off that roof as well. Somehow I did a flip and I landed on like one of the that boards, like something like below. I don't even know how I did it, but I flipped.
Damn.
I don't know what happened. And even the boss just kind of looked at me and goes, "You good?" I go, "I'm gonna sit here for a bit." He goes, "Okay." That was how that whole conversation went. But I know they wouldn't use tethers on like residential. As long as it wasn't very tall or anything, they didn't. And that was just kind of how they did it.
So like on construction sites, um, so I usually work in construction sites for developments, and
Mm-hmm.
you would be amazed at the amount of people who just completely circumvent like tethers or like. So there was this one time we were backfilling a job, backfilling a sewer,
Okay. Yep.
and so there was this it was like I think late winter. So it was pretty cold. And it was so the house we were working on was right on the main stretch of road. And so these people had the I forget what it's called, like a crank jack or something. Um
Okay.
Almost kind of like scaffolding, except you crank it up on both sides and it jacks up the platform. Um so there was that, but like one of the legs was on like a good 3 or 4 pallets. Like one of the sides was on a good 3 or 4 pallets. And so
Okay.
the an an OSHA guy came in, and so my dad sees the the jack on like how it is, and he basically just tells me like, let's just finish this up and get out of here because I know an OSHA guy is going to be coming here sooner or later. And so we basically just finish it up, and like we don't circumvent OSHA, but you don't want it's like driving in front of a cop. You don't want them to pick apart the smallest thing because you know they have the power to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we just finish up when the OSHA guy comes in. Uh, he gets someone that speaks English, and so he basically said like, I want your boss here tomorrow. Um, when we left, there were over I think it was like 130 grand worth of fucking citations down.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No, you don't fuck around with OSHA, man. No, no. No.
There was this one meme I saw where it's like a very heavy guy on a ladder, and so both of his hands were up, like working on something above him, but his belly was touching the ladder, and of course both of his feet were on the ladder. So it just says "fuck you, OSHA." 3 points of contact. Anyway, so let's talk about the topic that I particularly wrote down to talk about tonight. Um,
Okay.
so it involves Nintendo fucking over its player base, which Nintendo. So I like to say that Nintendo is in a constant game of fucking around, knowing damn well they're not gonna find out. So Nintendo, there have been multiple times. So there was one time that they shut down a Smash Melee tournament, Smash Bros. Melee. Uh,
Okay.
Smash Bros. Melee came out on the GameCube, and it's not like the biggest game in the world, but it has like a cult following. The tournament scene is non-zero because it's very fast paced and um it's very fast paced and very competitive. And games like that, I feel it takes a lot to actually get them to die. And so the only way for it to work is if they use a modded version of the game and to like make it so it runs smoothly.
Okay.
And Nintendo comes in and shuts down the entire tournament. For some reason, they have the power to shut down the entire tournament because they're using a modded version of the game. This
That's
game has been out for
a bit
years. It
stupid.
is not on the market anymore. It hasn't been on the market for
Why does it
years.
matter then if it's not even on the market?
That's what everyone asks. Nintendo just doesn't fucking care. And then
What the
a
heck?
few years ago, Smash, I believe it was Smash World Tour. Um, it's an event that pretty much happens every year, from what I know, and it takes it's a series of tournaments, and so it takes months of preparation. It takes thousands of dollars of preparation, and so a few weeks before it was set to start, Nintendo comes in and shuts it down. I don't remember the reason that they gave. All I remember is based on speculation from people in the community. There is an esports group called Panda. From what I remember, they were also holding a tournament around this time. And the speculation is that Panda tried to get the Smash World Tour shut down. And people believe that Nintendo let it happen and shut down the Smash World Tour. So the
Okay.
months that they invested, the thousands of dollars that they invested, all gone. Like it wouldn't have been as bad if they did it early in the preparation. Like Nintendo had to have known that it was being prepared and stuff. And they did it pretty much right before it was set to go. So this time, Nintendo released regulations for tournaments that happen with their games. So let me go over a few of these regulations.
Okay.
You can't run pirated or modded versions of the games, which, like I said, basically marks out Smash Melee. You
Okay.
can't. Uh, you must use official Nintendo servers. You can't. So Melee, I believe, either doesn't have online servers or the servers suck because it came out on the GameCube. So
Okay.
you need to use either a modded version or a ROM of it. Making ROMs of recent games, I believe, is wrong. As long as I believe it's wrong as long as you don't own an actual copy of the game. The thing is, Smash Melee has been out. I'm pretty sure almost as long as I've been alive. Let me look up when Smash Melee came out. Yeah, Smash Melee came out about a month after I was born. And so you
Okay.
can't run online tournaments like that without using a special version of the game, and Nintendo just doesn't allow that. And like
Hmm.
some people say like, well, they're not getting the money for the tournament. They're not getting the money for the people playing the game. And like they weren't getting any money for it anyway because it hasn't been on the market.
They just wanted to be pissy.
Pretty much. You can't use any third party accessories. So like some people use like special controllers or special pads to play. You can't use those, which I I'd say that should be up to the tournament organizer. Like if you think a certain controller or certain accessory gives an advantage, then you ban it. Don't like I don't think Nintendo should ban it. Um a max
No, because there's fucking people with disabilities and everything that have like specially made fucking controllers so they can still play games.
yeah. Uh so for in-person events, you can have a max of 200 participants, which is so stupid. Like, why are you limiting the max number of participants in an event? Like, what? If you can hold the participants, you should be able to have as much as you can safely hold. Why would you limit the max number of participants? It makes no sense.
I don't know. It's
Uh,
dumb.
they limited the
Companies are
max
whack.
entrance fee and the max prize pool, which was the max entrance fee is $15. The max prize pool is $5,000. A lot big tournaments a lot of the time have enough players and enough entrants to have pretty big sums of money as their prize pool. Like so a game I'm going to talk about in a little bit, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2. Uh, a big
Okay.
Smash Melee competitor and a big Smash streamer just recently held a tournament for Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2. And keep in mind, this game isn't nearly as big as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And he held a $5,000 prize pool. If he can hold it with a game so much smaller than Smash Ultimate, why would they limit it to that with a game such as Smash Ultimate? It makes no sense. And so this last
Hmm.
thing, which I think is the worst part about it, uh tournaments can't so don't quote me on this. Don't quote me
Hmm.
on the specifics,
Okay.
but it said something along the lines of they can't have sponsors.
Wait, what is that? So like,
So
what? Wait, what are they considering to be like a sponsor though?
like a lot of times tournaments will have companies that back them money wise in order to
Okay.
be it's a sponsorship, so they'll like add money to the prize pool or something like that, and they'll in exchange they need to like run a an ad for them every once in a or every so often or something like that.
Okay.
Nintendo is just not allowing that, from what I understand.
Okay.
Which, like I said, is probably honestly the worst part about it. How do you expect like yeah, are they just trying to kill the tournament scene? Like Smash Bros. Ultimate is such a competitive game. Smash Melee is such a competitive game. Smash is probably their biggest game, and it's so competitive. Why would they try to kill the competitive scene of it?
Honestly, I have no idea. And like, I know I keep saying that, but like, I don't play much for Nintendo. It's like, I honestly have no fucking clue.
It's gotten to the point where I refuse to buy Nintendo products or support Nintendo services because, like I said, it seems like they're in a constant game of fucking around and knowing damn well they're not gonna find out. If they're going to treat the community like that, like I know me, what I'm doing isn't gonna change anything. People are still going to buy the same Pokemon game year after year after year. They're still going to continue buying the Zelda games, the Mario games. I know what I'm doing isn't going to change anything, but it just doesn't. It wouldn't.
Right.
I
It at least makes you feel better.
yeah. I don't want to support that company. Which like all that is a reason that I felt so happy about hearing about Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2. Cause like this game honestly runs pretty damn well. And I think if the company does it right, they can make it. I don't think it'll ever be on par with Smash, but I think it could be a legitimate competitor for Smash.
Is that the one game you played with your brother on Twitch?
Yes,
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was like putting like I actually know what game you were talking about.
it is. It's called the 2D platformer game. 2D
Okay.
platform fighter, I should say.
Yeah, that's how the Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge is on Xbox. Don't even ask how I know that one, okay?
Fair enough. But it has been an hour. I feel like this is probably a good time to cut it off.
Oh, has it been an hour now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, so this goes out. If any of you have any tales of triumph or tragedy or anything in between, anything wild or crazy, we would love to hear it. Uh, Send an email to the link down below. We'll also be connecting our Twitch accounts and our Discord. We're running a Discord server, as well as we have an Instagram down in the description below. If any of you
Oh, I
want to see
forgot about the
us,
Insta.
yeah, if any of y'all want to see us on other platforms, that those will be the platforms to see us on. Thank you all for joining in. Have a good night.
Thanks for stopping by.